I'm Shauna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this will be the energy report for YouTube for the end of January of 2026. And I would say that there's been some synchronicities in my way here saying that it's blustery. It's blustery out there. And I would have a lot of validation points for that weather report if we're talking about energy in comparison to weather. Very blustery, sudden, sharp, incoming negative energy, and then we'll have like peace and grace, and then a sudden, sharp, shocking energy wave and peace and grace. This is what is, in short, coming through the energy field. Now, we'll get into things here. So the first card that we have from the above deck, talking about what the heavens are doing, or thinking, or in judgment, whatever's going on there from above. The first card that we get for the energy of the end of January 26 is the Death card. This is, wow. This makes sense to me. Now, unfortunately, there's cutoffs here having to do with frequencies that we can allow into this new frequency. There's certain frequencies that just will not translate. They won't change. They won't mutate. They won't, and they end up being cut off here. I have seen examples of this in my own life, and I know that there's others out there that are experiencing the same. It's very heavy, and it's not very pleasant to go through. But nonetheless, this is a cutoff of energy and a beginning of another energy. That rabbit in the background is really kind of the symbol of fear that those which are at the end of the road here that may carry. And again, rabbits are very quick and swift in their movement. And this ending is also in the same vein is what they're telling me. This energy is going to come swift and quick and shocking. And so this is, some people may be dealing. And again, over the Christmas and holiday season, there does seem to be, for some reason, an amplitude of this. I think it's because it's a very shifting time of the year. And also, I've been made very well aware of the Asian New Year, Chinese New Year, having to do with February 17th to March 3rd. I feel like that's going to be a pressure cooker as well. There's going to be a lot of things coming to the surface at that time or just after that period. So I want to make you aware of that as well. Okay, so we're starting with the Death cards. There's a blunt ending here having to do with certain energy fields that are coming across. And this is from the higher realms, right? Because these heaven cards are to me a symbol of what the universe is doing. And then we'll go down to the earth cards and see if we correlate or if we're disengaged from that. I have a feeling a lot of us are disengaged from that, but I'll digress here. The next card, again, is past energy, but I feel like it's very, again, the energy's tight. So December, January, this is the energy. Now, as we move into the present year, into February, and over the turning of that Chinese New Year, we get the Five of Earth, which means slow, steady strength. Interesting, because in the immediate past, I get the abrupt energy, and we're talking about blustery day having to do with the energy report. Bluster speaks to like wind gusts and things not being slow and steady. So what that tells me is there will be certain gusts here having to do with frequency cells. I'm trying to gather my words here. There's frequencies that will be allowed to pass, but they will be frequencies that have to be in mutation zone. So that means you have to be actively working towards the positivity and the betterment of you and humanity. So if we are not working on the self, these are things that will not translate well. They will have a lot of choppiness and a lot of blustery things coming at them. So if you are working on your higher self, working with your guides and higher self, working at all to improve yourself for the betterment of yourself and humanity, this will all be in the slow and steady strength that will survive all of this death energy. I don't mean to put it that way, but that is how it's going here. We have to look at the self to improve the self and continue forward. And this is not something that can be tricked. We have to do this. We have to actively do this. In our frequency, it's got to be there. If it's not there, we just do not make it through to the next round. So right now, what the universe is working on is a slow and steady strength of building these people back into their love, heart, compassion zones. It's usually where the core of where we have to come from. If we are not being compassionate in our lives at this time, we are going to have problems. We are going to have to look at how we contribute towards compassion or non-compassion, and we're going to have to mutate that to the betterment. Okay? So as we move into the future, what do we got here? 3 of Earth, talking about group effort. This is very interesting. Group effort. Yeah. And this is from above, right? So I'm getting a lot of energy here. And the first one I get is this little elf is the epitome of the people on the earth who are at this time mediating with the self, is what they said. But within that, meaning gathering your own soul, spirit, looking inside to figure out what means something to you, what means something to others, what means something as a group of humanity. It could be the group of your family, it could be the group of your community, the group of your... I feel like in the future, there's... I'm getting a lot of nervous energy in the background here. Like my hands are shaking. I don't know where that's coming from. It's not my energy, but the sense that I'm getting is there's a lot of people that are very nervous at this time. Because I think if there's people playing with energy, they're going to be nervous. Because at this point, you have to drop the tools. Especially if you're going outward to harm others, you got to drop them tools like the gun, the sword, the knife, whatever it is that you're harming people with. And it could be your own mind and your own effort going in a direction to harm others. I feel a nervous energy there for them. Now, if you're making it through this slow, steady strength, now, if you're in the positive realm, they want me to explain this. Go back to the present, they said. There's a slow, steady strength that's building. Now, if you're in the negative realm here, harming others, that slow, steady strength is going to be there, and it's going to depower those in the negative frequencies. And it will be a subtlety, but yet it will be profoundly difficult to continue in this energy, no matter. Because the energy does not support the negativity. So all of the outlets that you take in this way will come crashing down. The only outlets that will survive is the outlets that bring you into positive life forces. So when you go in this way and you are trying to hide, you're basically going to be hiding in a corner where you are cornered, where you cannot come out. And again, there's energy here that ends things. So you got to be aware of that. I think certain people in this way of higher learning, having to do with frequencies, they do understand this, but they are still refusing to flip. Okay? I feel like that's the nervous energy I'm getting. So as we move forward, there's a group effort. So it means that not only focusing on self, but others around us. And we may even have, because they're showing me arrows coming in from other people of positive ways. So if you are a negative person, going out negatively, you will have a lot of resources coming into you to help you figure out how to not do that, how to fix that, how to come out of that, if you will. And this is where the group effort from the universe is going to start giving you alleyways, giving you answers to get you out. Again, if we are stubborn and we want to continue to do harm, we will be exposed for that to the highest degree. And again, these can be up to life-changing things, meaning it's life-changing moments, but it can also be in the worst aspect of that. Okay, I won't go no farther. So that's what the universe is doing. They're ending the energy of negativity in order to bring a slow, steady strength of positivity from the underground, pulling it up into people. And those that have it figured out will be going down to those that don't and allowing them to have the option of positivity all around where they can take that outlet. And if they do not, there will be heavy consequences for this. Now, as we get into the second row here, we're dealing with what are the people on the earth doing? What are they invested in? Okay, no matter what's going on with the universe, what's the earth doing? So the first card that we get on top of the death card for the people of the people, I'm getting a speech like that. Queen of Cups. So what's happening on the earth is we're just feeling a lot of heaviness. Again, positive or negative here. The consequences are coming in emotional manners. And we have a situation here where it looks like somebody's opened a red letter and they can't deal with the information that's coming forth, but they do have some emotional support there. And the sense that I'm getting is not only do we have support from above for this, compassion for how you feel, because it's understood we should feel, right? But at the same time, yeah, I just feel a lot of sorrow and grief here. And this may be for those who are in the death phase, meaning those who are in passing and unable to go through. And I feel a lot of stuff arising to create this grief as well. And I feel like, the support is there to help us through that emotional phase. Okay, so that's our past. And again, for some people, this will be something that they have to deal with and are working their way through. And again, opening of the emotions is good. We need to allow that flow out and release. And again, that flow will start building a strength within. So as we get on to that slow, steady strength of the present here, the Five of Earth, the waterfall, what do we get there from the earth plane? We get the Knave of Wands. So that's someone learning how to take action in the proper manner. It's interesting here because I get a sense of fear from this page. Knave, they I don't know, I'm just noticing that red finger. It's almost like they got hurt here. And yeah, see, what I'm getting is, I'm just going to go with what I'm getting here. I'm getting basically, she got red hair and she's in fire energy. Wands is about fire. It's about taking action. I feel like if somebody has been going through a lot of karma or a lot of bad things have come upon someone here. Case in point, this Page of Wands, I feel like all of these little salamanders crawling are just those outlets that we need to take to go in the proper manner. If we don't, we will continue to hurt ourselves, is the sense they're giving me. It's like we just pricked our finger here, and they want you to take note of what you're doing to harm humanity. This is what I'm getting. It's like some people may think they're only pricking their finger, but it's there's a spreading of this negative energy that has come to the precipice here where it has to stop. This is what I'm getting. This is after this death card. So now this energy is being stopped, but it doesn't mean that, like, the translation factor has to still play out. And again, if it's truly stopped from the interior, we can take one of these salamanders and go off in a direction and create great things. Because the strength that is underpinning everything here is the strength of positivity going forward, doing actions, making actions in the positive way as we go forward, and being aware of the harm that we either do or do not do. And if we are aware and we do not continue to make positive actions, again, these are where the consequences lie, right here and now. Like, like the 19th of January is what I'm getting. So as we move into the future, again, there's the group effort having to do with the earth plane is to combine together in positivity. You may have from the above a lot of positive energy outlets coming towards you. That could be in the form of people, could be in the form of energy that comes at you from whatever, like even from like TV or whatever. There's things that you will absorb in a new, fresh way. Your mind will take in the positivity and it will overwhelm you. It will even create great compassion and warmth and tears of overwhelmment. And during that, we want you to go outward in that. And that's the thing here. We have this little elf, when we're talking about this Three of Earth. He's sitting there. It's almost like praying to God. And then you see another elf, like having like the grapes that are in nature. It's like we don't know whether to pray for that which we don't have, but we have a lot to work from, so we're just not seeing it, is the sense. Because then I see this guy opposite on the leaf, and he's like going to take a chunk out of this grape. I'm taking it as a grape. Another one's just snoozing under the safety of the flower. Like, it's just, nature will supply. We just have to stay on the right path, is really what I get here. And everybody can be in different frequencies of this, because this one looks like he's praying for something he don't have. And this other one's, just enjoying the grapes of life, right? And then another one's napping. Well, there's going to be those as well that are just not going to see through this spiritual stuff. They don't believe in that. But all the while, there will be a group effort of positivity coming at you in order to bring you forward. So on the 3D plane, what do we get on top of that Three of Earth? We get the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, this is good. Because that's, talks to family in this card. It accentuates the feeling of family. When you think, not everybody's family is in a way of positivity, but when you think of family, you think of those that you are happy to be with, those that you can celebrate, those you look forward to seeing, this kind of thing. There's a great happy vibe there. And this is the sense that I get with this. So it won't be hard to figure out who is for your highest good, because you will feel on every level that you feel that family connection, and that will be what you should gravitate to. So I do feel the need to accentuate that isolating in the future is not going to do us any good. It's going to take us away from the positive realm. So if you are someone who is in isolation at this time, is to fight that to the highest degree, and you will be surprised by the positive outcomes that can come, even if for someone who's not trustworthy, not trusting of others, this kind of thing. We need to work on that. We need to expand that in order to get into the 10 of Pentacles, because we can't be part of a community or part of a family unless we go outward and create those connections. So I do feel that's very important in the near future. And again, these readings can work a span of probably 2 months either way. So 2 months in your past, 1 to 2 months in your past, and 1 to 2 months in the future. So this is good, because it if you're in an isolated mode, no matter what, if it's out of depression, whatever, we do have to put some work in to go outward to form friendships with others. But once we do, there will be great evidence there of a positive train of events that can start to happen here. So let's get into the Metatron cards and see what we end up with here. As we go into the Queen of Cups again, there may be some endings here that are hard to take, and that could be anything from relationships to people to situations that we've had to switch gears, like jobs or something that, again, everything is now switching over for our highest good and for the highest good of others. So we have to keep that in mind. It may not be looking so rosy from our perspective, but in the end, this is where we need to be. So on top of that Queen of Cups, what do we get from the Metatron? The green and the maroon. Hope, heart, and healing. Yeah. And for those who are shut off to love and compassion and not able to give it, they will find it very hard at this time. If not, a lot of doors shutting and slamming in our face. Really, we have to open that heart and heal and understand why we are not wanting to be compassionate. We have to work on that. At this time, no harder push do I feel than to be in that mode of frequency, because we cannot handle this frequencies we're moving into. We cannot handle people who are going outward deliberately to harm others, and that there's healing that's needed there, and they need to you need to find the root of why you're doing that in your life. And if we can't do that, then there's going to be some abrupt endings that are going to happen in your life, no matter, to make you see that or highlight that. I don't know, but it's going to be coming hard and fast if it hasn't already, because this is our past energy I'm expanding on. So we get into the maroon, and that's after we deal with the heart healing. Ambition, zest, a verve for life is going to come and create new pathways as you go forward. So that's really in the line of healing. After we heal, there's a verve that will come in that you may not even predict that could be there for you. But it is in the path nonetheless, for those willing to take the chance to heal through. So as we get into the present, again, the Knave of Wands, I feel like this person in green, right? That's a symbol of the heart wanting to come. But I feel like there's a resistance. What they're giving me is a resistance within this woman. She does not want to go forward in that new positive energy. She does not want. She has learned quite highly how to degrade others or whatever it may be, working in the negative. She's in fear of the positive, which again, there's no reason to, but those salamanders are all there to show her a different path, and she's being surrounded by it. And that's really what I get universally. Even though this is an earth card, I feel like we're all being surrounded universally to take the positive path, and some people are just resistant to this. So on top of that, we get Water card, talking about alchemy and intuition, and this is where the switch needs to happen. And intuitively, you will be, how would you say, your beeper's going to be going off intuitively. You will be, on an emotional level, is where you find these answers. If you feel sad, you got to look and why you feel sad, and you got to be honest. Why am I feeling sad? Has somebody hurt or harmed me or degraded me that I feel sad and I don't want to allow myself? These ego things, this stuff, everything can really distort your idea of where the heart sits. So your water is all of those emotional feelings that need to come up and surface. And we need to feel them and heal them. And again, I'm preaching. But for those that can't or don't understand, or it just does not translate, this will be a very hard year to get through, because we may not see the path we need to follow, period. But the good thing is that, if we make it to June, meaning without some severe trauma, emotional breakdowns, this kind of thing, if we make it that far, then we are on the path of expanding and evolving in the proper manner, meaning we're dealing with our emotions, we're understanding what gets to us and why. what are the root causes of where am I feeling my pain, and what is it coming from? Like, if we can be honest and step the ego aside for the sake of growth here, and compassion, and to open that door a little bit. This will be hard for people in trauma and processing trauma. And, I'm not above allowing huge leaps and bounds in this way, but again, it will be hard for some to process through this year. And I feel they're giving me June as some kind of a cutoff here. I don't know if there's a full moon or an eclipse or some kind of weird thing going on then, but they're giving me that as it is kind of the halfway point, but I don't know what the deal is. I guess when we come to June, we'll see it more clearly. But maybe when June comes, we'll be able to look back and go, yeah, I see more clearly than I did at the beginning of the year. It was cloudy. It's kind of the sense I get. And I feel like that water and the alchemy and all of that stuff, this year is going to be heavy, again, for those who are not of the positive and who are needing to switch gears. Yeah, we can't fake the energy, so it will give you what you give. It'll give you you'll get what you give. This is it. So at your core, if you're in denial, you will be getting a lot of outward play showing you. So if you're a negative person and you don't think you're a negative person and you're in denial of that fact, you will have a lot of negativity coming at you from all angles, where you'll be like, what the hell's going on? Like, really, what is going on here? So you will have to look at it. And if you are flipping over, you will start to see more footholds to get you out of these holes that you're in. Psychically, psychologically, this kind of stuff. You will just see more options to get you out of. And more profoundly, you will feel, there's certain days, you wake up, oh, it's cloudy, I don't feel so great. It's harder to kind of trudge through. Well, the energy they're giving me is that it will be very easy to trudge out. In fact, we will feel cleansed and cleared many times over throughout this year, to the point where you're like, oh, I don't feel, I've never felt this good in my life, da da da. And then it's like they're going 2 months down the road, they'll go, you feel even better yet. It's like stripping clothing off as we're going, into the sun. It's like we've got layers and layers and layers of stuff on us that needs to come off. And as slowly as we go, we get more momentum, we feel more free, we feel more, this kind of thing. So again, that can accumulate, that can great leaps and bounds for those that are in heavy darkness. Yeah. But it all comes down to the individual's will to work on the self. If we're in denial, this won't translate. And we will know this by June if we can't figure it out by then. It will be tragic stuff happening at us, around us. Everything we see will be in this way. So we have to look at the self, really. Okay, that's the now. Alchemy and intuition. Your intuition will be speaking to you. If you shut that off or you don't allow your emotional states to come up, you will not recognize this. So this will be hard for you to suss out as you move forward. Into the 3 of Earth. Again, there's group effort here. The universe is going to give you channels outward of you to allow you to, and that could be in the shape of a human, in shape of ideas coming at you, could be in the shape of, things, opportunities coming your way to get you into the 10 of Pentacles state where family, and it may not be your initial family. Some people, that's where the trauma is. That's where the struggle is. So they got to remove themselves. They will find their soul family, as they say, right? They will find those areas that are more enriching. And that will be a good sign after June. If you find these areas where you click with people, this will be a good sign you're going on the right flow. So on top of that 10 of Pentacles, we have the Eye of Horus, shield from violence, and the masculine. Okay. This will be harder for masculines because it is not, they don't get celebrated for feeling emotion and whatnot. I celebrate internally, but I've learned through raising my son that there's a lot of pattern behavior that you're just like, why did I say that? Like, if my son gets hurt, or if he says something like, like, ouch, that hurt me. It's like, oh, come on, get over it. That's the knee-jerk reaction. That's the way I was brought up. But I got to break that cycle because I continually do that, and it's very destructive, and I don't realize how destructive it can be. And I have to break that cycle in me so that I don't have that pattern in my son. And, these are things, right? And I feel like it's going to be hard for a lot of masculines to get through this year unscathed in some kind of way. I think it's because it's pre-programmed, and they got to break every tactic they learned to smoothly go over this, meaning, masculine and feminine. I've grew up in a more masculine household. There's more men than females. So I learned, a lot of bad habits in this way, especially when it comes to feeling emotions, sensing emotions, and dealing with emotions. And you can only hope that one sees clearly, but if you surround yourself with other people that do the same thing, that's what you learn. That's what you exhibit, and that's what you go forward in. And it is very hard once maybe that's your soul family, as you feel, to break from that. You can't, it's very hard because people, they start to not understand, or they don't want to deal with the emotional side. And again, these are people that are going to have a rough time this year. If you do not open up that heart center and let her fly, not only will it affect you, but groups as a whole. It will really degrade our earth plane. I've done a lot of work here in the last, I guess 18 days, having to do with sending energy to certain things. And some places it worked, some places it didn't. And I just got to have faith that that stuff is going to go in the right way. But the masculines here are going to have, and if you're feminine, beware of masculines in your own field that are having issues, having to deal with emotion. Try to, I don't know if you should try. I kind of leaning more now to allowing things to just be until the realization, because ultimately you can't force someone to feel if they don't want to, don't know how to, and don't care to. You can't make them. I've learned that very profoundly, and you have to just let go of certain things and allow them to do whatever they want to do. And then you continue. And again, your soul family will be those that will accept you through thick and thin, and will allow you to feel from a compassionate center. There's people shutting off, turning away, when you're crying. That says something about that person, and you kind of have to absorb that in your ball of energy and go, look, do I want to learn more about that? Or, because where am I at this point in my life? And I'm talking spiritually, not necessarily, where you are in society, but where you are internally, in your heart center. Do you find yourself more frustrated with life, or do you find yourself feeling more compassionate and growing and da-da-da? When you really look at it from that base, it really sticks out. So that's the reading. So we end on a heavy masculine card. We may even have some eruptions in society from the masculine end. Having translation problems. They're trying to translate them into their compassionate area, and some are not wanting to feel a bloody thing, and it will backfire on them. So as I get into the TLC cards, okay, this is the finishing card for this reading. We get a day away from it all. Yeah. Because I feel like the trigger for this Eye of Horus card, the shield from violence in the masculine, is not wanting to deal with certain things, or being filled pressure to deal when they're not, maybe not ready. But the thing is, we've gone past the point here of, the homework's due, and either you got the papers or you don't, and you got to pay the consequences for those who didn't work, Those who didn't work on their self are going to have to pay the consequences at this time at a higher rate than they would have in the past of just going with flow. So a day away from it all, it's kind of like, I feel like there's literally a guys, like I need to get out of here. Like, because my wife's bitching at me, I can't deal, I gotta go. Because they just got to think it out on their own and not be pushed from anything outside of themselves. So this is the sense I'm getting. So a day away from it all could clear the mind, because it'll give you that time to be alone with nature and allow those positive influences, positive vibes to get into you, relax you, and get you to a point where you can make your own mind up what you want to do and be. Today is yours, and tomorrow is coming as it will. Yesterday is complete with all its learning and lessons. You can rest now and embody this moment's embrace. Feel yourself supported by it as you step away from your daily task. Give your full attention to your body, mind, and soul, and while infusing each moment with thoughtfulness around your true needs, let your soul rest from the myriad of voices that are vying for your attention. I was getting the voices. Be still. Be still. Return to nature and share the silence like two old trusted friends who, by just being together, soothe each other's tired hearts. Renewed and strengthened by your time away, joy will return, and with it, the clarity and energy that is naturally within you. And I get that highly, even before I read this card, is like, be still and enjoy the silence. Like two friends who just want to be together, soothe each other's hearts. And I got that highly with this Queen of Cups card. It's like that guy doesn't know how to help the girl, like she's in grief, but just sitting there and being there with her is enough. It is enough, because it's showing support. You may not know how to do or what to do, and sometimes doing the wrong thing can be worse than doing nothing at all. And here he's just supporting her. He's just saying, I'm here for you, and I can't do. And that's the thing. If you don't have people that can do that in your life, that walk away when you're in these moments of stress and whatever, those are not the ones. Those are the endings that we have to create here as we move forward and find people who are willing to stand by us at those times, right? Yeah, it's interesting because I'm getting a correlation. There's times where we're upset and we have support by someone standing there. But there's also times where we're fighting for things that are not, how would I say? Because I'm getting this Knave of Wands here. And I was telling a story about someone who's a negative, doesn't want to be a positive, and is fighting for that. And in that situation, we do have to leave that person alone. We do have to walk off because they have to figure it out on their own. So there's two separate ways of supporting, because in essence, how do I put it? In essence, if you want to support someone being negative, then you are going to fall in that. But if you are someone who wants to be positive and this person is staying negative and they're in denial, whatever, you do have to walk away. You do have to. You have to know when to hold them, when to fold them, like that kind of thing. It is like that. And I get both scenarios here quite highly, because there's people that are going to have to walk away from people that are just negative and they just refuse to change, and they have to allow that to happen. And then there's other people that need to be supportive for the emotional centers, whatever, and from a heart-centered place. And sometimes it doesn't take much, but just the presence of you, being there. You want to talk? Okay, I'm here. And even though nothing can be done, but the sense here is that one person is processing emotion, the other person is rejecting the processing of emotion. So that's where the line is drawn. Whew, there's a lot of energy here and a lot of stuff I'm feeling, and it's all along that precipice of what do we stay with and what do we leave? We have to make a choice here in our life in order to move forward to, this new energy, because things aren't going to change unless we change them, right? This kind of thing. And by them, I mean we change our own ways of being, or being those around us that we're frustrated with, sometimes we just have to walk. And sometimes we just have to stay, but it's completely different opposing energies, but for different reasons, right? So a day away from it all is today is yours and tomorrow is coming as it will. And I do feel a great increase of these positive energies from underground. And I also feel that it will be slow movement. For some people, will be drastic changes that will happen in their lives to get them on the right path. So I'll leave it there. I'm rambling here. Again, it's a blustery day, so just short bursts of energy. You might get a day or two of reprieve where the sun's out and then it goes back to the cold, windy, gusty day. This is what I'm getting. This will be kind of a forecast for a month or so. Again, every burst that I get. Now, I will be going on to Rumble to do the energy report there as well. And that will be in a different frame of mind here. Though I'm doing them back to back, there's a different focus that will be there. So again, this is the above, below, mixing of the two, how it's going to play out on the earth plane. There's a lot of alchemy that's going to happen over this next little while, especially into February. We're going to see more clearly after February to March 3rd. We're going to see more clearly our trajectory. The fog's going to lift. We're going to see the countryside and we're going to know where we need to go from the heart center. That is, if we're on that path. If not, there will be a lot of chaos ensuing. So that is the energy report for YouTube. Yeah, I'm not having a lot of luck with the Facebook page. In fact, I'm getting shut down there for whatever reason. So I don't know how long I'll be able to keep that up, but I'm trying. But there's a lot of I feel like choking in the neck, when you see that picture of the frog in the throat. I get that there on Facebook. So I don't know exactly where that lands, but the bottom line is I will try to put my videos there as long as I can. And if I feel that oppression going in there any longer, I might be choked right out of it. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes I make choices here to expand things and it doesn't work out. That's one of them. Facebook's energy does not correlate with where I'm at. So there's no other real place that I can go like that with the exposure, but it's getting choked out nonetheless. So I'm just playing the field here, just waiting for the ball to come my way. Just keep going down the road. So for the YouTube crowd, this is the energy report. I will be putting a different energy report on Rumble, so have a look at that, and also look back in the field and anything you get guided to, going back to energy reports that I posted here just recently, bringing it back up, because there's certain ones they're saying the energy is playing out now, and I can't even remember because I did so many energy reports in the last while. So if I do get guided, I will put that out, and if not, and you feel like you should look, go with your gut. Just go with the one that you feel guided to check into, and then there may be a message there for you in that way. So for the end of January of 2026, this is your energy report. Take care and be kind.